Hi there, it's a beautiful day outdoors. I'm Linda, and today I'm going to be cooking steak for supper. I thought maybe you'd like to know how to make a delicious steak, and I know that I always enjoy a good steak. I've been cooking them for years. I get a lot of compliments, so I will tell you what I do. And just with a disclaimer, I'm not a butcher. I make no pretense of giving you anything other than my own personal experience and what I've had positive feedback on and what I really love and enjoy. So, first things first is choosing your cut of meat. That's really important because you want something nice and tender. T-bone, ribeye, prime rib, sometimes called just rib, strip loin, even top sirloin. Those are all good cuts that can be quite tender. Triple A is always the most tender. Tenderloin actually is the most expensive of all, and most people can't afford that. I personally like a good ribeye or prime rib. Myself, my son, and my husband don't like fat in their meat, so they like a strip loin because the fat is just along the side and very easy to cut off. Top sirloin isn't fatty, so you can choose that one. It's definitely the most reasonable as far as expense goes and cuts of meat go. So those are really where you want to choose your meat, in my personal experience. Also, if you have the option to go to a real butcher to get your meat, that is definitely something that you want to do. And you want to make sure that your steak is thick when you're barbecuing it. Don't get one of those skinny little ones. You want at least an inch thick. That gives it a chance to get nice and well cooked on the outside and a little bit of pink in the middle. This is my barbecue here. I haven't lit it yet, but I'm just showing you. It is absolutely nothing special. Had it for a few years. In my experience, the barbecue really does not make or break your steak unless it is one that flares up and is going to burn everything. You definitely want to correct that if your barbecue tends to have a lot of hot spots, especially if your meat has a lot of fat through it, then it can tend to cause more hot spots, and that can burn your steak, which we definitely don't want. I am not a pro at how to clean or fix your barbecue, so you'll have to look for that information elsewhere. But if you have a good barbecue or half decent barbecue and it works okay, then you get the right steak. You can definitely cook it and you'll be very happy. Another tool that is essential for barbecuing is a good digital thermometer. We got this one, I think, on Amazon, but you can pick one up almost anywhere. Make sure that it's a reliable one, that it has good reviews. This one, you open it up halfway and it turns on. And you want to make sure that you can measure the temperature of your steak so that you don't cook it too high or too low. It's extremely important. So if you don't have one of these, I suggest you order one or pick one up. Okay, as you can see here, I've got my steaks. They are nice and thick. These are T-bones, and they actually happen to be on sale at my local Foodland, so I was happy to be able to pick them up there. I'm going to be marinating the steaks for flavor because I absolutely love this marinade. So I've taken the steaks out of the package. Needless to say, I wash my hands first very thoroughly. Before I do the marinade, I'm going to take a fork and I'm going to poke the steak several times on both sides. And the reason for that is so that some of the marinade can go in as well. So that's my first step. Now, I'll be honest, when I'm making the marinade, I really don't measure. I have a measuring cup here, but what I will be using is soy sauce, Worcestershire sauce, and some minced garlic. So I'll show you what I do is I give them a shake. I don't even know if they require a shake, but they get one. And I'm going to fill it maybe, let's say, up to 100 mils. That's even under 100 mils right there. And the Worcestershire sauce, I'm going to do about the same amount. Sometimes I also add Montreal steak spice to the steak. I'll just shake some on each side. I'm going to leave that for today, but that's something I also do. With the minced garlic, I just take about this much and I put it in the mixing cup, the measuring cup with my 2 sauces. Give it a stir. And you can see I've got a zippered bag here. I just put the steaks in. You want to do this at least 1 hour, maybe even 2 or 3 before you're going to cook the steaks so that the flavor, this is marinating for flavor. You don't need to marinate for tenderness because these are a really good cut. You want 1 or 2 hours for the flavor to sink in. Basically, I will pour some marinade on the one side, flip the steaks over, pour the rest on the other. Make sure this is tightly zipped up. Get the air out. So now I'm just going to make sure these are well coated on both sides. And this is going to go into the fridge until I'm ready to barbecue. I will try to remember to flip this over once or twice between now and when I barbecue the steaks, just to make sure both sides are thoroughly marinated. Okay, it's been 2 hours. I have heated up my barbecue. It's about 400 degrees now. I marinated the steaks, and as you can see, the marinade is soaked right in beautifully there. I took a brush and brushed off my grill to make sure it's nice and clean. So now I'm going to go ahead and put the steaks on the grill. Doesn't that look amazing? So we're going to close the grill and leave it for 3 minutes. When I'm cooking a steak, when I'm barbecuing it, I do 3 minutes per side. So we're just going to wait for 3 minutes and then flip it over. While my steak is cooking, I have heated up the frying pan on just about medium high. And I added some oil, sliced up some mushrooms and onions and thrown them in. And I'm gonna let these fry. While my steaks are cooking, you can hear my steak timer in the background. I'm gonna go flip those again. Okay, my timer has just gone. I'm out at the barbecue. I noticed that it's creeping up towards 500 degrees. So I'm going to turn my barbecue knobs down to closer to medium, and I'm going to go ahead and flip the steaks see I've got a couple other things on the barbecue, but today we're talking about steaks. There we go. We're going to give it another 3 minutes and then check on them again. Now I'm here to flip the steaks, and you'll notice that they have lines on them. So this time when I flip them, I'm going to flip them so that the lines run in the opposite direction so that you get that nice crisscross pattern. I try to only flip my steaks 3 times so that they get a really nice crisscross pattern on them and they're not overdone. You can see that the mushrooms and onions are coming along well. I just flipped them, added a little bit of salt, and I'll be keeping a close eye on them. Okay, my timer went and I flipped the steaks over for the last time. Now it's time to get my digital thermometer and check them out. Make sure they're not creeping up too quickly. This one is getting close. I want to take it off when it's around 150, 155 tops. And that one's almost ready to come off too. Make sure you have a clean plate to put your finished steaks on. You never put cooked meat on the same plate that you had your raw meat on. Okay, so I've been keeping a very close eye on the steaks, and I see that this one is now in the low 150s, so I'm going to go ahead and take it off before it gets any higher. I'm going to take both of them off, and you always let your beef sit for 5 or 10 minutes before you cut into it. Does not look delicious. Okay, here we have the finished product, my mushrooms and onions, my steak, and we're all ready to go. So I hope you really enjoyed this recipe. For more recipes, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and leave some feedback. Let me know how everything's going and if there is anything that you want me to make. Thanks very much.